I left Chicago when I was 6. Moved to San Antonio. My mother got accepted into the military. She was based out of Lackland. And then I moved, military brat, so to speak.
So how was like the moving, everything of the new neighborhood and stuff?
Moving around as a child, you learn to adapt. You know, you're not afraid of change. You get that early on. So, yeah, I mean, it was okay. It was okay. It was normal for me.
How old were you when you moved?
I was 6 when I left Chicago, stayed in San Antonio, but I moved from there to other places, Georgia, Michigan. Mother got accepted, did a 4 years at Lackland in the Air Force, and then went to med school, Michigan State, Lansing, Michigan. And I went to military school, Camp Hill, Alabama. So I was kind of privileged, honestly, when I think about it. I was kind of privileged.
What was military school like?
It was supposed to be something like a bad thing for me, a punishment for me. I enjoyed it. I mean, but I was able to adapt. I've been adaptable, able to change, and so it was cool.
What's your mother like? Do you have any siblings or anything?
I'm the oldest of 5. We were 6. I lost one brother due to health issues. My mother is a soldier. She ain't taking no mess. The only woman that I know that could read a book in a day, and when I say a book, I'm talking about 400 or 500 pages. I'm talking about. She actually got accepted at, I said earlier, Michigan State University. She did 4 years, at the top of her class with kids. She's a perfectionist. She's almost like a genius. You know what I'm saying? But she just is many parts that come to a woman. But she just a soldier more so than anything. She just make it happen. You know what I'm saying? That was my mama and daddy, put it like that.
How would your mother or your other family members describe you?
I don't know. You know what? I do know. They would say that I move around too quick. I'm spontaneous. Things that they wouldn't do, I'll be the one to do it. And I'm not talking about like criminal activity and nothing like that. I'm just saying like, they're stuck in a certain place, in a certain city, in a certain state, and they won't move. They won't explore. They won't travel. They won't, everything is in that, you know what I'm saying? They won't. So I'm the one that will. I'm the one that explores. I'm the one that,
Okay. All right, Marcus, you came here to tell us a story, and why did you choose to tell your story?
I thought my brother was just speaking. I thought I didn't even know that this was this type of atmosphere or anything like that. I didn't know. I thought he was going to be speaking in front of a bunch of people, and I was like, okay, I'll come. And when I was propositioned to tell my story, I just said, okay, I'll tell the story.
Where did your story take place?
Bolingbrook, Illinois.
You remember what happened?
Yeah. So they had like something like a stop and frisk or something like that, where police is typically known pulling up in urban neighborhoods and seeing a group of young melanated men, whatever, just standing around for whatever reason, talking or whatever. And I guess when they seen the police, they ran because that's what they're used to doing, running.
How old were you?
I was in my 30s. Like, I want to say 2012, 2014, 2015. Might have been, 15.
You remember who all was with you?
It was just me.
Or just you?
It was just me. I had just pulled up, about ready to drive down on my cousin, who just got out of prison yesterday. Okay. Anyway, he was there, and it was him and a group of gentlemen. And I guess when the police came in, that they had ran. I seen the police get out the car, pursue them. I knew the police saw me pull in, so I just stood by my car because I know that they already knew that I just pulled in, and I wasn't even with them. I stayed by my car, and I just so happened to get on my phone. You know, we're in the technological age, so, on Facebook. So I'm just had my arms up on the car, outside of the driver's side, door open. It's the summertime, and got my arms on the hood of the car, and I'm on my phone. And I guess the police officer, he came approaching me, but he stood toward the tail end of my car and took a picture of me. And I realized, he said, "Now I got a picture of you too." And I told him, I said, well, actually, you should have got my other side. My other side is my best side, And he kind of smirked, and he said, "You keep talking shit, I could put you on the 5 o'clock news." And there was about 4 other pale officers around him. And nobody even said nothing. Nothing was said, nothing.
You said your cousin was with you?
No, he was one of the brothers that had ran. He had ran, dispersed. I didn't live, I'm from that neighborhood or that cul-de-sac or whatever you want to call it, that little area, but I know exactly what's happening, and it's been happening for a long time anyway, But I told them, I was like, "Why do y'all run? Y'all grown men. What you running for?" You know when you cross a dog's path, not to run, because it's going to entice him to run. So why run if you know you're going to get chased? But the way they do, but yeah, so he told me he could put me on the 5 o'clock news, and I went in the house, I told my father, because my father stayed, right there, which is, somebody I can, when he told me that, I wasn't even going to see my father. Like, I just said, let me go tell Pop, because I know he home. And we went to the police station and reported it. They didn't want to take any paper. They didn't want me to, write anything down. They pretty much wouldn't let me write anything down. No, they was avoiding that at all costs.
And after you left the scene and went to your dad's house, how do you think he felt about it?
Oh, he was upset. He asked me what did I want to do about it. I told him I want to report it, but reporting it, I'll just be reporting it right back to the same station it came from.
How did you feel about it?
I was angry. I was angry. This was, it's happened too common and too often, for one of us to lose our lives by the hands of a cop. And so when he said it, I knew exactly what he was talking about. But I said, you can't, there's no way to really fight against that. It's no way to really fight against that. And I started looking for answers as to why. It's no way to combat it. Why are melanated people treated like that? Why around the world, not just here in Chicago or Houston or San Antonio or Jacksonville, Florida, it's in Libya. You understand? It's in Mexico, it's in Venezuela, it's in Europe. Why? So.
What did the impact of the event have on your life, where you are today?
I got the answers to why. I got the answers. I figured it out. And
Change anything?
absolutely, it changed everything. It's changing. You get to see growth and development every day, because when you know better, you do better. You know what I'm saying?
Do you see police differently since that situation?
I do.
All of them?
I do. I see them all on the individual basis. I see the cops that's melanated, that look like me, that's in the service, that allows the condition to manifest and to, or sometimes these Negroes, they would actually be, the one to instigate the situation. They be the one to pop off before the pale dude pop off. So I see it from, I see people for who they are. It's almost like being Neo and being able to see some certain things because you know some certain things, just from wondering why. That TV they work, it's working a number on us, After one holiday, you got another holiday right behind it, another holiday right behind it, another holiday behind that. Then you got birthdays and days to say I love you and days to say, oh, you the best mommy or you the best daddy. I mean, when you know why, yeah, it'll change. So yeah, I'm changing every day.
You said you reported it and they avoided the paperwork. Do you feel like you would ever want to go back and try to get your justice?
No, because there is no justice. There is no justice in law for those that are not a nation. In law, nations deal with nations. And when you're a label, you're not a person. You're not a part of a nation. So that means you're stateless. And when you're stateless, that means you're a subject, because it was never designed for you to be a citizen. For us, the Dred Scott case was never overturned. So therefore, you still a slave, and slave has no rights. And by being a slave, you're property, and property can't own property. So there is no justice for black people, and there never will be justice for black people, because black is dead in the eyes of the law. That's legalese right there. Let me hold on. Let me just get this out here. Stop calling white people white. This brother's shirt behind you is white. That tissue is white. That's white. There's no such thing as a white person on the planet in status. You understand? Status is law. So, sister, you not black neither. I could clearly see it, and I know brown when I see it. But you're not an adjective and you're not a crayon, so no more can you be brown. You can't be black either. So what are you? The correct term, from what I understand, is more. That's what I understand, more. And we are original people, are tribal people. So yeah, you come from a tribe, but because of the theft that was done to your nation, and the slaughter and the murder and the mayhem and the the separatism of families, the separation of families. It's kind of hard to go back and pinpoint, identify what specific tribe you come from, but you're not black. And you're not an African American because you can't be African and American at the same time. Like we're studied enough to know that, right? Jesse Jackson made us black and African American. But if you go to the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C., you'll see Moors on the library. And if you go in there, you can read, go find more. I just urge everybody to go find more. But next question.
All right, because you seem like you studied a lot and stuff. How do you think that we could change it to get justice?
I've been answering your questions the whole time before you even asked the question. You got to find more. You got to ask why. You got to be a truth seeker. When you, assuming it's night outside and there's no daylight coming in here, if you open the door and nobody's in and it's nighttime, it's going to be pitch black. Darkness and light can't occupy the same space. So therefore, when that truth hit them lies gonna flee because the truth is light. So it's things now that we waking up to, like understanding what money is and stuff like that, and understanding that Republicans and Democrats is, two different wings of the same bird. You understand what I'm saying? So you gotta find more. You gotta be a truth seeker. You gotta want to know for yourself. To free yourself, you gotta know that you a slave.
Is there anything you like say that I didn't get to ask you?
Yeah. Dang, we went through all the questions?
Well, I skipped through.
Okay. Well, yes. There, as an oppressed people, I don't look at, you asked me a question, do I look at police the same? Or a question could have been asked, do I view pale people the same or differently? One thing I understand is that our condition is because we're in a condition that we're in for commercial purposes only. I'm gonna say that again. We're in a position that we're in and the condition that we're in for commercial purposes only. Commercial purposes, if you break that down, that'd be like commerce, business. You understand? So, well, you're probably like, well, how is that? Well, you are in a corporation construct, so therefore you're a label. They took your nationality, they took more from you and gave you a label. And when you adhere to that label, you belong to the U.S. corporation, which we know is broke now. And the system is failing. The markets are crashing. They're gonna try to prop it up as well. You know what I'm saying? And they may be able to for a couple more years. But at this rate, we don't know when your dollar is gonna be valueless, seeing that the rest of the world don't wanna deal with your dollar. So when you look at freedom and truth, you gotta follow the money as well, because not only do they have your nationality, they have you chasing paper instead of gold and silver. They have you believing in the white Jesus, which what people on what planet and what solar system ever worshiped anything that didn't look like them? You understand? Matter of fact, it looked like your oppressor. Nowhere in history. So this is your land. I've understood that this is my land, and I understand why it is the way that it is. And it is the way it is because we won't wake up. We won't wake up. We won't ask the questions why. We won't. I went to the Social Security office, And I got to the window and I told the guy, I want to change my status to white. I'm going back here just to sum everything up. I want my status to be white. And he told me, you ain't white. I said, it's not for you to determine who I am. Me being the man that I am who I say I am, and I am. That's God's name, I am. So you gotta understand, it's a lot. It's a lot you gotta understand, but I'm telling you, freedom is real, and freedom ain't free. Freedom is not free. It was never designed to be free. Freedom, you're gonna pay for something, you're gonna sacrifice your time, whether it's your money, whether it's your energy, whether it's your heart, something, you're gonna sacrifice it to pay for that freedom. But just understand this too, you're gonna pay for your enslavement. So we have to find more. We have to understand that as a people, we need to deal in group economics and support each other's businesses and support and love one another, because them other nations, they spend billions and do business with each other and love on themselves, you know what I'm saying, to keep us down because they occupying your land. Everybody here thinking that they from Africa, they from the East. No. I didn't go to college, but I know enough to know that all the continents, all land masses of the world had melanated people on it before the pale man arrived. Because you can't get dominant from recessive. So it had to be dominant and then recessive. You understand what I'm saying? But at some point, we being the Negroes that we are, we won't unite. We constantly fight. Somebody, our lower self was able to say, hey, they slipping, they comfortable. So we can divide and conquer. It's the art of war. Don't call nobody white. Know who you are. Learn more and study for yourself. The monetary system is changing, so get you some gold. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, you need it. Freedom is what I'm looking for, and that's what I got. Just because he told me he could put me on the 5 o'clock news. The question was why?
I want to go back to that. What exactly was going through your mind when you said that? Besides, I know you can, but what is it?
I was shocked. I was shocked more so than anything, and it was no fear. There was really no fear, because at that point, I'm saying, pussy, you got a badge and a gun, and you got 3-4 other officers that's turning their eye, and you just said some slick shit to me that you have no right to say. You understand what I'm saying? You abusing your authority and your power, but this is not new to me because Facebook is filled with black issues, black problems, black death. You know what I'm saying? So it was nothing new. So at that point, I knew, shut up. Because words hurt.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
On camera?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do it for the vine. I do it for the vine. I promise you I do it for the vine. Okay. I keep gold on me. So in my presentation, whatever I just said that we need gold as a people. You know, this is a gram of gold right here. Technically, we should be weighing our money instead of folding it and counting it. You understand? 1971, Nixon took us off the gold standard, which basically allowed the Federal Reserve to print as much paper as they wanted. Paper is legal tender. It's a medium of exchange accepted by law, but it's not lawful money. Your Constitution says, Article 1, Section 10, that only by order of Congress can Congress institute what real money is, and real money is gold and silver. So if that's in the Constitution, Why are we dealing with this paper that's not backed by gold? Which allows the depreciation of the dollar, which allows the taxation of the dollar, because now you're dealing with another corporation's, that's their property. This note is owned by the Federal Reserve, and all debts, private and public, are owned by the U.S. corporation. So what do you own if you pay for it with paper, with their money? What do you really own? It's a whole fraud. You're a slave. They got you hook, line, and sinker. Everybody, even me. But I asked why. And I got the answers. This is your monetary freedom right here. You want to be debt free? You want to have more? You want to increase your savings and increase your finances? Look, we go to school, we graduate from high school for what? A paper. We go to college, put ourselves in $100,000 worth of debt for a paper, just to go find a good paying job that you're going to have to pay for sacrifice your time, your relationships, family, to get a good job to pay for the debt that you incurred by going to school for paper. And that paper, the first 3 months of the year you working is for free. Then you got to pay taxes on your wages. And then the cost of living is still going up. You a slave. And it's serious, it's real. You should be mad about what I'm telling you right now. They called you a crayon, took your gold, gave you paper, got you in debt going to school just so you could go be a slave and build somebody else's dream. When that man told me that he could put me on the 5 o'clock news, I wanted to know why. Why? Why is it like that?
If you could go back to the day where that man said he put you on 5 o'clock news, what would you say?
Thank you. Thank you. I would have been complacent. I would have still been in one of the highest tax states in the nation. I would have been in the most most corrupt police state, one of the top corrupt police states in the nation. I probably would have stayed there, being a slave. Instead, I moved down south because I needed to change the environment. I needed to change the people that I communicated with, the circle that I wanted to run in. And by me not being afraid of change, thanks to my mama, I was able to take that risk that everybody else don't. And I did it with my son. Me and him moved, single dad. You understand? Before I left, I made sure I had a career and not a job. I made sure that I made sure that the market that I was going to work in, I wanted to be needed, highly sought after, but something that I wouldn't be expendable for. I get to say fuck you from time to time and don't have to worry about my job being gone. You understand what I'm saying? Just time to time, don't have to abuse it, but just let them know, like, dude, I know my worth. I bring your $150,000 vehicle home every day. No scratches, no dents. I deliver the load. If I want to take this day off, I'm going to take the day off because I feel like it. I mean, it's just one of them things. I would tell that officer, thank you. Thank you. The crazy part about it is most of us don't know who we are, but you'll be surprised at how many of them know who we are. Anybody could be a citizen. You go to some of these countries, if you travel, you will see that some of these other countries have nationals. Nobody here ever said, who are the nationals of this country? We don't see them. Everybody's a citizen. That should not be like that. That's because we're the most persecuted because we're the nationals. You've been occupied. You're you're a subject to war. And that's why Trump got these tribunals going on, because people need to pay for their war crimes. That's real. I saw that today. This is why the US corporation is broke and why your dollar is on the cusp of collapsing. And the world don't want to deal with their dollar anymore, partly because of what they've done to you. And the world is waiting for you to wake up to who you are, so we could run this land like we were supposed to. The world is waiting for us. We're the gatekeepers. We're the chosen people. It ain't by coincidence. Wherever you go around the world, they want to talk like you, walk like you, dress like you, be like you. It's no coincidence. I have a video on YouTube. I mean, not YouTube, but on Facebook. It got almost 50,000 views just because I was able to catch a pale woman telling me who I was, and I already knew it. And I was able to have a conversation with her and get her to call me white and herself black, because she knows that black means bleached, pale, void, without color. It's real. And when you catch them little pockets of truth on camera, you should cherish those, because people need those. So I hope that somebody sees this video and get them some gold, get them some precious metals. Find a sheik in your closest, nearest neighborhood, somebody that can show you how to get your nationality straight so that you can not be a US citizen. It's not profiting you anyway. By you being a national, the police can't mess with you. You're exempt from taxes under the Peace and Treaty Friendship of 1776. You understand, file under tax laws, a W-8 bin. I mean, there's things that you can do where you don't have to be subject to that. You're actually the goddess of this land, and I'm the god of this land. And we sitting around here running from other grown men like boys, which is why they call you a minor. Not because you lack in population. Call you a minor because they're saying you're not fit to think as an adult. That's a legal term that they will call you. They say it publicly on TV. They say it on TV. Anybody who watching this, they should just really be irate. They should want to do something. Get up. I can't even watch TV no more because the way we are presented to look like fools. Like, that's all. These people got money, and we know they got money. But I take that back. They got paper. I don't know how many of them actually got this. I don't know. This right now is what, $60? I know when the stock market crashes, it's gonna go anywhere between $322 versus up to $1,600. Just it's in value. Gold hasn't lost its value in over 100 years. This real money, this is what the sisters really should be going after, a brother that got some gold in his pocket. I mean, we just need to think differently. It's time to think differently. It's time to choose different.
You think we'll ever get to that point?
If I touched you, I think we can. And I think if you go touch somebody else, we can. I'm actually involved in an organization that I grew from nothing. And I done touched over 1,500 people so far in about a year. And I get paid to do it. I quit a 70,000-year job to do this, to pursue my dream, to be financially free, so I could go touch people, so I can increase people's finances. And it's working. It's really working. I don't know, when you can actually see it manifest in your life, when you can create because you're a creator, because you are God and you know that you have the universe in your system and you understand you're the mother of all creation, that you're worshipped in secret. I mean, when you know, understand those kind of things, yeah, I think we can. I think we can, especially because the technology is advancing. I think, you know, anything is possible, but I'm a dreamer. I'm just now at a level in my life where I'm making my dreams come true.